And let's get started with some FPL, with some fantasy football. It's finally back. Big news. We have 2 new forwards in the game that were midfielders last year. We have Zaha and Arnautovic, 7 million each. Both are now classified as forwards. We'll have to see if that is of any benefit to us. Zaha potentially could still be playing up front for Palace. Arnautovic, under new management, may not necessarily be leading the line, so we've got to wait and see how that goes. Mohamed Salah is still a midfielder, but he's going to cost you £13 million. So he is the most expensive player in the game. After a season like he had recently, that kind of is understandable. So I personally think go without Salah at your own risk, because so many people own him. Right now, if I am correct, his ownership's almost at 50%. The next highest is Kane on 38.9, so he's almost 10% higher owned than Harry Kane. And Firmino is virtually the same ownership as Harry Kane as well, 37.7. Then De Gea, 32.2. Then Zaha, very popular pick with that 7 million price tag for a forward at 31.9. Those are the people all over 30%. And yeah, other than that, nothing major that I've seen or heard about. And the first pick that I am definitely set on before I start going through the chat is we do want this man, Mohamed Salah. I think with the ownership as high as it is too risky not to have him, especially with Liverpool having such a good start to the season. West Ham, Crystal Palace and Brighton Hove Albion. All of those games coming when some players will probably be rested after their World Cup heroics. And by the way, how well are England doing? Seb Hodgson with the first conundrum. Salah and Zaha or Firmino and Eriksen. I would probably look at Salah and Zaha for me. I just think Salah's ownership means you need to own him. I mean, Firmino and Eriksen are both going to be great options this season, I think. But I think at least at the start, while his ownership is so high, if you don't have Salah, it's just going to hurt. If Salah does amazing and you don't have him and everyone else does, you're going to be off to a slow start. If you do have Salah and he has a great start, you're fine because you've got him. If he has a bad start, almost half like the players in the game have Salah, so they'll also be having the same player who's not scoring. So I would just put Salah in to mitigate the risk at the beginning of the season. Do you think Salah may be targeted by Robertson, give more point scoring opportunities to Mane and Firmino? Jeff, I think that's always a possibility, but I think if that is really the case, surely why weren't they doing it earlier? Because it was pretty much common knowledge by a certain point that Salah was that good a player. So yes, it could happen, and I personally think all 3 are going to score decent points. But I think the problem with targeting Salah is, like you said, you are going to give Mane and Firmino opportunities, and it's not like they're terrible players. You need to have a good full defensive plan against Liverpool, not just target one player. They're not a one-player team. So if you take that risk, I think you're opening yourselves up to even bigger defeats, if that's even possible.